Hey y'all, it's Dr. T again. One of the things that I have learned is that many times trauma has many layers. And I found that a lot of clients are afraid to address their trauma or resolve their trauma because of the expectations that we have about trauma. Because the trauma was uncomfortable or scary, we believe that the healing will also be uncomfortable and scary. And it can be in some ways, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. So um, I do feel like there's often layers. And so many times clients will address each layer when they're ready to address that layer. It doesn't all have to happen at one time in the one session, and it usually can happen in one session. So it is a process of removing layers at a time. And so you might address one layer a couple of months, take a break, come back next year, address another layer. That's okay. Also, resolving your trauma, healing from your trauma doesn't require crying all the time. And it doesn't always require a deep conversation in therapy either. There are a lot of different ways to resolve that trauma and move through that trauma and heal that trauma. So, are there clinical ways and places where counseling can help you to heal? Yes. Things like EMDR, brain spotting, CBT. There are lots of clinical approaches. And there are pieces of things that you can do as well to resolve and heal. And again, it's not always about just having these big sessions of crying or these very deep conversations necessarily. So sometimes it is you writing a letter to someone, and sometimes writing a letter that you don't actually send or give to a person, but unloading the thoughts and the feelings someplace safe. Sometimes it means rereading a letter from somebody who did you wrong, or that you felt they neglected you, or whatever the thing is, and rereading that letter in a different place and time is a way of healing. Or validating your experience by saying, oh, wow, yeah, I went through that too. Hey, I'm not the only person who experienced this. All right, so healing from trauma is kind of like a quilt of connecting these pieces of fabric at times when it makes sense for you to connect those pieces. So hopefully this helps you to feel a bit less scary about moving through your healing journey and addressing your unresolved trauma. So let me know what your thoughts are about trauma, if that's been your experience, if you address it in those ways or different ways. I'd love to hear what your healing has looked like. Those of you who are therapists, counselors, psychologists, how do you help people address and heal from unresolved trauma? All right, I'll see you soon.